Naked Forex, and you may have read the book. If not, okie dokie. We're going to talk about kind of an advanced topic right now, and which I hope is okay with you. And one of the things that's important about this is there are several different ways that you can build a small account quickly, right? And you can go to nakedtradingclass.com and learn about at least, there's three of them. There's actually more than that, but there's three main ones that are in that course that show you how to build an account quickly. Now, one of them is called fixed ratio trading that Ryan Jones invented, as far as I know. If you don't know about it, that's okay, because you can go to nakedtradingclass.com and get the info on that. But here's what's important. Fixed ratio is a difficult thing to wrap your head around. It's very different to the way that most people trade in futures or currencies. In Forex, we usually risk, a certain percentage per trade, which is called fixed fractional or percent risk model, 1%, 2%, 1.75, 0.9, whatever it is. And usually that's based on some sort of testing that you've done. Now, here's what's interesting about fixed ratio. It's completely different, number one. And again, you can learn about it at nakedtradingclass.com. But number two is it's much better for a smaller account. It actually works better for a smaller trading account than it does for a larger trading account. Presuming, of course, you've got all the settings correct. Now, here's a couple of things that I think you should pay attention to if you're going to use this method to build up a small account quickly. Number one, you should consider the maximum drawdown that you see. Now, this is, of course, going to be based on your simulations. So if you've run your trading system or systems through the gauntlet and you get what your win rate is, your reward risk ratio and all that, you can run Monte Carlo simulations and figure out, all right, what's going to happen here when I run this, or what's likely to happen. Now, once you determine that max drawdown, and by the way, if all this fixed ratio talk is gibberish, just go to Naked Trading Class right here, somewhere around here. Naked Trading Class, go to the free on-demand trading, and then this will make sense. What you do is you take your max drawdown that you experience or you see in your simulations, and you can pretty much just cut that in half and use delta as that. That's one of the big deals about fixed ratio trading, right? Is that you have to decide what's my delta going to be. The smaller the number, the more aggressively you're trading. The larger the number, the more conservative you are. Number two, how do you increase, like the increments that you increase in delta, those are also going to be related to your drawdown. So if, for example, you have in your back testing, you notice that there was a, worst case scenario was a 20R drawdown, was your worst drawdown, or 20% drawdown, or like a $20,000 drawdown, you might go, all right, well then I will keep delta at 10,000. And so, and when I go up one delta, I won't increase the same amount, 10,000. I might increase 0.5 delta in my trading. That might be a good way to go about it. Also, number two is when you fall back into a drawdown, you might increase the amount that you cut back, right? So that could be like, if you're up one delta in your trading, and then you start trading 1.5 in terms of your lot size, you go, okay, well now what I'll do is I'll fall back. If I lose 5,000, which is basically half a delta, I will reduce my trading size by 75% or 80%. So now you're trading a much smaller size. It'll take you longer to get out of that drawdown, but you won't get much deeper. And that's really the key here. Again, if fixed ratio doesn't make sense, you go to Naked Trading Class and you'll see that in the class. You'll see all about the three methods for building up a small account quickly, and fixed ratio is one of the ones we talk about. And you can come back and watch this video later. The other thing I want to mention is that you can accelerate the way that you reduce the method of reducing your trades faster than you increase. So, for example, when you make one delta, you might increase your position size by 0.5 or 50% bigger than the previous, right? Before you achieved 1 delta. And then when you achieve 2 delta, you increase another 50%. But then when you fall back down, like I said, if you fall down half a delta, you might decrease your lot size by 75%. So you're only risking 25% of what you were before. The other thing you could do is you could paper trade. This is a really good method. So once you lose 50% of a delta, you might go, okay, I'm going to go demo and I'm going to trade demo until I get out of it. As soon as I get out of it and I'm back up to where I was when I quit trading live, then you start trading live again. Now, of course, you're not going to be out of it in real life when you do that, but you do save yourself in the case that things are getting really bad, much worse than you thought they'd get. Now you don't experience that. So that's the trade-off with that. So these methods can work if you're using fixed ratio. Fixed ratio is a bit complex. It really involves a lot of thinking about what are you willing to put up with. And the best rule of thumb I can come up with for you is that you find out what your max drawdown is in your simulations, cut that in half and use delta as that amount. That's probably the best way to do it. And also, when you're in a drawdown, increase the amount that you remove from your lot size. So you don't have to, if you lose half a delta, you don't have to reduce your lot size by 50%. You might reduce it by 80% or 60% or 90% or whatever, but you can really pull more off if you're worried about digging yourself into a big hole. So that's all the risk management stuff for today. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. If it doesn't make sense, you don't know what the heck I'm talking about in ratio, fixed ratio or delta or any of that stuff, nakedtradingclass.com. Go there and you can go through the on-demand trading and you'll get up to speed. Okay. Thanks so much for spending time here. I hope that this helps. And again, if you want to build an account quickly, 3 methods. There's a cheat sheet for you when you go into the on-demand trading, nakedtradingclass.com. See you around. Bye.